Going to the US after your BDS is becoming difficult day by day because of the number of people who are applying for it. So, if you want to stand out in the crowd, having an amazing resume will help you out. So, to talk more about creating the ideal resume for your DDS application, we have with us Dr. Bindu. Dr. Bindu completed her BDS in 2016 and her MDS in endodontics in 2020 from RGUHS University, Bangalore. She is a current advanced standing DDS student at medicine. She is passionate about mentoring students who want to study DDS in the US. I'm Dr. Satish Kumar. This is Kaizen Dental. Our aim here is to help dentists succeed. Thank you, Dr. Bindu, for joining us today. My first question to you is, what is this GPA all about? How it is calculated? Because everyone states that if you have to do DDS, you have to look at your GPA.
Yeah, that's a great question. So GPA is nothing but grade point average, and that is what is followed here in the United States. So the GPA is out of 4, and since back in India, like for BDS, we have like different exams, and it's all out of 100, right? So each paper, you get a mark out of 100, and you can't really calculate the GPA on your own. So what you need to do, there is this organization called ECE, which are Education Credential Evaluation. And also there is one more organization called WES. So these two organizations are used to calculate your GPA. What you need to do is send all your marks card to them, and they will look at it. Each individual subject's marks, they will convert it into a grade and like a GPA out of 4, and then they will give you a calculated GPA. And the GPA also differs from country to country. Since this organization, they don't really tell you how they calculate it, but what they give is what you get. So that's what it is at the end of the day. So out of 4.0, you will receive. And most students from India, they get good GPA. So because we get good marks in our BDS.
Okay. But imagine someone has failed during their, say, first year or second year while navigating the BDS course. Does it affect the GPA? If you like this video and are planning to go abroad after BDS, then do not forget to like this video because it will show the YouTube algorithm that you like such videos and will keep showing you more of them.
Yes, it does. So when you failed an exam and you had to retake it, supplemental exam, what they will do is like they will already have that one score. And then the next one, which you actually passed, they'll take that into consideration. And they will give you something called a cumulative GPA, which is a CGPA. So on your ECE report, there will be two things. One will be a GPA and one will be a CGPA. So the schools actually look at the CGPA. So some people panic and they say, I don't have a CGPA. I'm like, that's good. That's because you didn't fail in any subject. But, somebody who has failed and has a CGPA, that's usually lower. And the schools take that and they also know indirectly that, you have failed in a subject. So all that really plays a part in your application.
Understood. So basically, once I finish my fourth year, even before I think I want to go into my DDS journey, the first thing is I have to go to either of these two websites, the ECE or WES, and get my GPA score. Now, is there a particular score below which they usually do not take you into the DDS universities?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up because this GPA is like it varies by country to country. I have met people from, South America and they have the GPA of 2. Their highest gold medalist is having a BDS GPA of 2. And the schools know this. But, somebody from India, like a lot of them have 4.0 GPA because they get high marks in private colleges. But, somebody who has gone to a government dental college, they might not get such high marks. So schools look into all that, like, where you studied, if you studied in a private college or a government college, and, which country you're from, and all that. And then is what they make a decision. So they have a list. So for like, I think, most of your audience will be from India. So a GPA of 3.5 is what I would keep like a baseline for this application to be competitive in this DDS process.
So, do you feel someone who has a 3 GPA or lower shouldn't apply or they should take their chance? What's your opinion?
I mean, shoot your shot, always take your chance. I always tell them if you will never get into a DDS if you never apply. So, at least try once and see where it is because, the DDS process over here is really competitive, even for the regular American students. And it's even more competitive for international candidates because there are so few spots. So that's the reason it's really competitive. But, try.
Understood. So now imagine one of the audience out here has a 3 or a 3 point GPA, 3.5 GPA. So they are in the competitive zone. It's not like amazing scores or something. What unique skills or certifications they should have or work on that sets them apart from the rest of the applicants?
So one of the things which I would say, if you have like a 3.5 GPA back in India, you can be like, I was young, I didn't know. I just studied and I got this score and I can't do anything about it. You can never change your GPA. So what you can do later is maybe pursue a degree over here in the United States, like a public health degree, a master's in health administration, health informatics, and score well in that. So if you have like a high score of 4.0 or something over here in the United States, they value it because you have studied in an American education system. Also, you can do an NDS back in India, but again, we know in NDS also sometimes you don't get marks. But you have a additional clinical experience over there, or you can even, there is something called a preceptorship program, which is essentially like shadowing or observing, but in a dental school setting. So I tell candidates to go for this preceptorship program because it's highly valuable. You are in a dental school and you're observing, for a period of 1 month, 3 months, or even a 1 year is what people do. That enhances their overall application and makes it competitive.
Great. But other than the preceptorship, going in for a degree or something of that sorts, is there some way I can strengthen my resume by attending workshops, conferences, continuing dental education programs? Do these actually matter?
Well, if there is a hands-on CE program which you do over here in the States, like if you attend a dental conference and there is like a hands-on program, but all these programs are meant for practitioners. They're not meant for students, but you can still do them as an internationally trained dentist. But they are super expensive. Like I think they range from $2,000 and above. And also you can do basic life support course by the American Heart Association, kind of have your BLS license. So all these things do make an added component to your application. But finally, the schools, they do look at GPA, right? And they do look at if you have studied, actually, if you have been a student, because you're again going to be a student and they want to know that if you can handle these academic rigors over here in the United States.
I know I'm pushing it too far, but is there any other way other than GPA someone can upgrade their resume? You spoke about preceptorship. Anything other than that?
Like I think preceptorship, a master's program or like an NDS is what really comes to my mind because I met American dental students over here. I'm in kind of an integrated program and they have to do 4 years of BSc in biology and some even have a master's degree in public health and then they get into dental school. So you imagine how competitive this entire process is. We get into BDS after high school, right? And so, having an additional degree, even like a certificate program, maybe if you can't do like a full-fledged degree, certificate in any of these fields will help you be more competitive and show you like you are an academically oriented student because that's what matters at the end of the day.
Understood. So now when we are at the process of writing our resume, is there a technique in which we can tailor it so that it is more acceptable or palatable to the people reading it?
For resume, I have a CV template on my website. It's free to download. You can go ahead and see that. And it's so frustrating because as an internationally trained dentist, you don't know what exactly you need to write. So that's why I made this template. But in Capid, which is the centralized portal for applying to DDS programs, some schools ask for a resume or a CV and others don't. So essentially, your experiences section in which you add everything is your CV, right? So you don't need to sit and make a CV. Some schools have a CV template. So you need to follow their own template because it's easier for them. And it has everything pre-written. So you just have to fill in all your details. So this is about the entire CV or resume process. But keep on building your experiences. The more experiences you have, the more you can actually incorporate in your CV. So I tell people, like, right from your BDS time, keep on building experiences, and it doesn't need to be dental related. It can be anything, even extracurriculars like sports or volunteering, and anything even related to medicine. So you can have a holistic resume. So that's what the schools like, just not all in dental, but even like extracurricular activities, like to show all your leadership skills and team building, teamwork and everything.
Great. So we got an overall view of how our resume has to be built. That is, we should have a lot of, first your GP is important, then preceptorship or doing a master's program to add on to the strengths, and then your extracurricular activities and all other voluntary activities can be added to the resume. Other than this, is there any opinion about personal statements which have to be given in a resume, or any objectives of why I want to do it? How does someone write all these things in the resume?
So in your resume, you can mention on the top like summary of qualifications, and they can be like 2 or 3 lines to kind of sum up your entire purpose of this CV. Because there are different types of CV. The students might have made for something for work, but this is totally different. Like you are applying to dental school, so it has to be related to studying and pursuing the advanced standing program. And that's what I said. In your SOP, the statement of purpose, you can include like why you want to do this advanced standing program, and usually it is learning. You like to learn, and you want to update your knowledge and skills. That's what the schools are looking for. So that's something to have in your resume as well as in your statement of purpose.
Understood. So, is there any other than this that I'm interested in learning and upgrading my skills? Any buzzwords, any keywords, anything which you think should be written or can give a person who's listening to this interview an added edge in their resume?
I would say, talk about your journey in your SOP and tell them what got you interested in dentistry. And then tell like how your entire dental journey was in India or in your home country. And if did anything else, also you can mention your master's program. So all this, when it's like a story, the schools, they really like it in a organized format. And you can also mention your US experience. Many of them, they come here to States because you need to write your INBD exam. So you can never apply to DDS directly from India. You have to come at least once over here to United States to take the INBD exam. And when you come, you can build all these experiences in the US. For example, like you went and shadowed in a clinic or you volunteered in the community. So when you write your US experience, that also enhances the profile of your application. You can say what all you did and how different it is, the practice of dentistry in the United States compared to back home. So where we just follow traditional way of practicing dentistry, over there in our home countries, but here it's digital. Uh, even prescriptions are not handwritten, they are digital. So there is electronic health records, there's dental insurance. So when you say that you have an exposure to all this and you understood this system and you want to be a part of this system, is what the schools are looking for. So these are kind of like the buzzwords you can add in your CV and in your statement of purpose, which will make it stand out.
That's a very good point because anyways they are going to travel to the US to do the INBD exam. So why not use that opportunity to improve your resume? So that's a really good point, Dr. Bindu. Is there any takeaway or advice to a young dentist who's looking at this and wants to follow your path and get into DDS there?
Well, I would say this path is becoming competitive, and especially for Indians. Believe it or not, the maximum number of applicants are from India. And you need to know that because the schools, they prefer diversity. Even though there are, you know, 20 Indians who are like super competitive and there's only 20 spots, they will just choose five um, of the candidates from India, and they'll choose the other from the other countries, just to keep it like, an international program. It's not an Indian dental program. So it's an international program, and they want diversity in their candidates. And that's what it is. So that's the sad reality, that it's really competitive for Indians. And I hope it changes, because some of the students are really motivated and passionate to be, studying DDS over here.
Understood. So it is very important if it's so competitive that you try and get each and every additional point you can. So working on your resume, go to our website. We'll be putting the link of all of these resources she's talking about in our Instagram post. Go check that out. Go to the website. Understand she's made it easy for you of how a resume has to be built. So all these points will help you in the competitive environment to stand out. Thank you, Dr. Bindu, for taking your time out here and joining us.
Thank you for having me.
PDS. If you like this video and are planning to go to the US, do not forget to check out our entire USA After PDS playlist.